So hello everyone, my name is Mark. My journey to the Appalachian Trail begins here. Testing out my setups, my gear, my sleeping kit, my stove, kind of everything really. My ability here in Texas where I live. Starting with the Lone Star hiking trail. Also testing my enjoyment of being alone in the woods. So starting with a day hike here, well actually an overnight, full day of hiking and then an overnight tonight. The Lone Star hiking trail, I'm at trailhead number 4 and there's a kind of a big loop. I started the kind of opposite direction from where I'll end up camping in the loop. And the reason for that is that we're expecting some pretty heavy rain tomorrow. There's a tropical depression moving in. And so that way I can kind of get up in the morning, pack up, and get to the car pretty quickly. So the heavy day of trailhead action is going to be today. My goal is to do the Appalachian Trail. It's really a question of how soon I can do it. My goal would be to do it next year, but some logistics would have to line up financially, work. I got 3 girls I'm gonna send through college, wife's job, things like that. All that has to line up, but I'm working on my plan, and this is the first step in that journey. Actually, I think the first step was watching every YouTube video on the Appalachian Trail and buying all this gear that's now on my back. It's probably not the right gear for the trail. Some of it definitely is not, but I want to make sure this is something I really want to do and enjoy. I've not done it in the past, so I don't really know. I've done plenty of camping, but long trail hiking is not something I've participated in. So yeah, this will be my diary of this journey, so that others who are thinking about or considering going from sitting at a desk all day every day and doing an office job like I do, those that are thinking about how to change their life, maybe they can look back on these videos one day and see the success, hopefully, that I've had. I'm about 45 pounds overweight, where I need to be, and very out of shape. You can probably hear it in my voice, my breath. So this will be how I check in on my journey to lighten up my gear and lighten up me and change my life. All right, check in later. Okay, just a quick update here. I've passed about 8 creeks like this. All of these were marked as water sources on my map, and they are all just like this, totally dry. The terrain here on the Lone Star hiking trail, at least in this section, is definitely not flat. Trekking poles might have been a good thing. There's lots of terrain like this, ups and downs and ins and outs. I did not think I would need it. Texas is notoriously pretty flat, but this area is not. Anyways, just a quick update. I'm sure tonight when I camp, we'll be by Lake Conroe, so I don't think water is going to be an issue. But no water so far on the trail. I'm about an hour in. Okay, just a quick update here. I think I've gone right at about 3 miles. Making good progress so far. Legs are a little tight. Not used to this kind of activity. The trail has been really interesting, not what I expected at all. I've walked on sections of this trail before, but they were not like this. This is extremely tight. I don't know if you can see behind me. It says you're supposed to camp 200 feet off the trail. I haven't seen a place on this particular section between Trailhead 4, on the west side of Trailhead 4 and trailhead 6, which I don't know if you'd want to camp here because you can hear a nearby freeway, 149, not a freeway, but a highway, I guess I call it. You can hear 149 nearby, so I'm really just walking this direction to get some miles in, but I don't know how you would camp 200 feet off of this. I mean, if you look, I don't know how you would camp 5 feet off the trail here. It's really, really thick. So I'm hoping the area that I'm going to, that I do plan to camp, you know, has some more open areas. I think it's going to be pretty tricky. If not, the trail is very well marked. I am happy so far that I am not allergic to poison ivy. Knock on wood, because I have seen plenty of it. But the trail is really well marked, not a lot of bad bugs. I think I'm the first one on the trail today because I think I've cleaned out every spider web on the trail. Everybody behind me, you're welcome. Every spider in front of me, I'll see you soon. Check into that. Okay, so about 20 minutes after I talked about how all the creeks were dry, I came to this creek and I really thought I had to go across it, which I wasn't looking forward to do just because of how soft that mud looks. And there's no, well, way down there I'm seeing there was a deadfall that I could use, but I was thinking the trail kept going over the other side, and then I had the good sense to kind of stop and ask where the blaze was that marked the trail, and started looking around, and lo and behold, the blaze is right here and keeps going that way. So no need to cross here. They may have us cross further down, but I guess a good reminder to me to always look for the blaze before I tromp off into the woods. Okay, so somehow I got off of my trail. I'm not sure how that happened, but I'm now back on it. So this is where I thought I was about 30 minutes ago. I'm still 1.9 miles. So this was a diversion for me to go from. I was just going to go this morning straight out to where I was going to camp, but that was going to be a pretty short hike. So I decided to make the long loop around. But what I actually ended up doing was making a long loop. Sorry, there's something on the camera there. A long loop plus a little small loop that I just completed, which apparently is called the Pole Creek Trail Loop, or Lake Creek Loop, which I definitely did not intend to do. So I think I worked in an extra 2 miles on top of my 4 mile extra. So I think I'm going to be hiking most of the day till I get to my campsite, but I'm really enjoying it. It's been very pretty so far, not super hot. I am sweating like a pig. My shirt's not doing me any favors. It was supposed to be like moisture wicking. It just kind of moisture absorbing. But not a lot of bugs. Bugs have been fine, and my body's holding up okay. My legs are definitely tired. My butt muscles are super tired. This was a lot more up and down than I expected, but so far so good. I'm really enjoying it, and looking forward to lunch. I need to find a place once I do get to trailhead number 3 here. I'll probably stop and have a little lunch there. And here is what the trail continues to look like. Very tight. Okay, as you can see here, I've gotten into a bit of an issue. There's yet again another dry creek. I have found only really disgusting, muddy, non-moving puddles, and I've not been desperate enough to fill up at those, but I'm 0.9 miles away from trailhead 3 and I'm out of water. So I've been conserving quite a bit, but it is June in Texas, and it's way too hot to be hiking out here with no water. So if there is not water at trailhead 3, I've got some decisions to make, and I'll need to pull out the map and see, can I get to water, or do I need to just hike back to my truck straight down 149, which will not be easy without water because there's no shade on 149. But anyways, this is where I'm at, just checking in. Okay, so my extra little jaunt through the woods that I decided to take today has put me into a bit of a now survival situation. And the way those situations turn bad is people stack a bad decision after one bad decision. So I made the bad decision to take a trail where I thought there'd be water and planned on getting water on the trail with my filter system, and there was none. So I've made the decision that if I get to trailhead number 3 and there's not water there, I need to head back to the truck where I have 2 bottles of water, because the only absolute known water I can think of is about 8 miles further into the trail at Lake Conroe. So far, everything has been extremely dry. So I don't want to risk that. So I'm going to get to trailhead 3. Hopefully there's a water spigot there that I can utilize. If there's not, it is 2.9 miles back to the truck along 149, and as you can see, that's the water I have to go 3 miles in Texas. Okay, well, it's worst case scenario for me here. There's no water here. There's no people that I've found, and the trail going forward, the topographical map shows nothing. Like the creeks that were on this map aren't even on that next section. So this was a much higher chance to get water than that will be. So you can see from this topographical map, and this is a copy of the one I was using, we're here, truck is here, water's here. For sure water's here. So I'm just gonna hike back to the truck and get water and make some decisions about what I'm doing at that point. Got about another 1.5 miles, I guess. He's hot. About half an hour before I got to the truck, I stopped sweating. My hands started swelling. I'm definitely dehydrated. I just pounded a bottle of water. I'm gonna wait a minute and then pound the second one. But yeah, the idea of hiking on to my next spot without water is a non-starter. It's just too dang hot for that. So the mistake I made today was twofold. One, I decided to go on a route that I hadn't planned for just because it looked fun when I got here. That was a mistake. Number 2, I assumed there'd be water where there were creeks marked. That turned out to not be the case. I should have thought about the fact that it hasn't rained here in a few weeks. The ironic thing is it's due to rain like crazy tomorrow. So not ideal. But the third mistake I think I made was these shoes. So these I got some called high-tech hiking boots, and they're just so heavy, and the sole on them is pretty thin, and so the bottom of my feet are killing me. The rest of my body feels pretty good. I need to adjust the straps a little better on my backpack and make the torso longer, which is odd because I'm not tall, and I've already got it set at extra large from a height perspective. Maybe it's because the straps, I guess, are going around me, so I don't know, whatever. But I'm gonna have to lengthen them out a little bit. But the pack served me really well. It took all the weight. When I loosened up the straps up top, I could actually ride with all the weight on my hips. It had a nice breathable space behind it. It's not an ultralight pack, but I'm not an ultralight guy, and if I'm worried about, you know, 1.5 pounds on the trail, I could just eat less. So I've got plenty of weight I can shed without worrying about the backpack. Anyways, folks, for those of you who bothered to watch, hope you found it useful. I'm, again, mainly doing this for my journal functionality, but if it benefits other people, then that's great. See you next time.